Hi, Paul Nashawaty coming to you live from the show floor at Open Source Summit 2026. I'm here in the booth at Coder with Ben. Ben, how you doing?
Doing well. This has been such an awesome event.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, there's a lot of traffic just coming out of the keynote, day three, lots going on. Tell me about what's going on with you.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're Coder. We're here at Open Source Summit, and we've been having a lot of fantastic conversations about open source, self-hosting, and developer environments in general.
Yep.
And the theme kind of throughout the event as well has been how AI is impacting both open source, making more people than ever contributors, and kind of how software in general is changing to support the world of AI.
It absolutely is the theme. I mean, the AI, you can't go anywhere without talking about AI. But like the other part of it is the open source community. It's really great to see it come together. The commercial side of it, people don't want to go at it alone. So tell me a little bit about Coder. Tell the audience a little bit about Coder and what you're doing and who you are and what you do. We had a good conversation yesterday.
Yeah.
I'd love to continue that.
Yeah, absolutely. So Coder's been around for probably 6 or 7 years now, with the kind of sole goal of moving developer environments off of laptops onto remote machines, whether it's in a cloud or on-prem or air-gapped. And Coder has an open source component, and then we also have a premium component designed for large enterprises that really value security, governance, and scale.
Yeah.
What's changing with Coder is we're seeing that these same developer environments we made for software developers and humans are also really valuable when working with an agent, as well as agent-only workloads. And all of the kind of governance around that has been really important for us over the last 6 months and so.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that where you're going in the direction that it's moving, it's very dynamic and very fluid, right? The audience is kind of looking at different things. We talked about 3 major initiatives that you're kind of doing at this event. Yesterday we went through that. What are those 3 initiatives?
Yeah, absolutely. So we have Coder Workspaces,
Yep.
which is a developer environment for humans or agents. We have AI Governance, which is everything that you need to safely introduce AI tooling in a large organization. So think about it as in like secure egress, audit logging, establishing kind of guardrails and boundaries, as well as just a centralized golden path for AI coding.
Yep.
And then on the top layer, we built our own harness, which is we call Coder Agents. We released this in beta earlier this month, and it's a harness that will let you work all the way down the stack with the governance on a workspace to do agentic software development.
So do you have to be a professional developer to use Coder?
No. So even 6 years ago when we started, our main users were software developers, but we would also work with a lot of data scientists, machine learning people, and a bunch of people kind of in software engineering adjacent roles. And that's only expanded with AI, where I'm actually a product manager and I use Coder every day to create prototypes, to research the complexity of the code base. So we're seeing a lot more people using Coder for vibe coding. We're also seeing a lot of our existing customers have more people contributing into their kind of core code base than they have in the past as well.
Yeah, it makes sense, especially with the pivot with AI of having the citizen developers being able to do things,
Yeah.
the builders being able to do things. Let's talk about governance, because governance is a big factor, especially when you have non-professional coders building code. But you got to keep the guardrails up, make sure that people don't go off the rails when they're building things. What does that mean for the citizen developer?
Well, at a very basic level, enterprises are not letting citizen developers run cloud code on laptops, and they probably shouldn't. A laptop has a lot of confidential information in it. It also assumes the full identity of the developer using it, or the citizen developer using it. Meaning, if I'm running cloud code on my laptop, all of a sudden it can read my emails, it can delete things on my disk, and there are some permissions here, but after a while, everyone just starts approving the permissions and letting it run wild. So where kind of Coder Workspaces comes in is we're a way to kind of move those risky or more complex processes like Cloud Code onto a workspace. We're adding a lot more governance there too. So having providence into like everything that's happened has been really important. So a full audit trail, as well as those kind of guardrails and policies.
Yeah, I mean, audit trails are obviously important, right? And this with the release of applications and development code, it's people may not be doing things in a bad way. They're just trying to do their jobs, right? And they need to know that they can do things within those guardrails. So I think it's important to have that in place.
Well, one prompt can set off a number of different LLM requests and tool calls and do a bunch of things on a system. And in the time of an incident, you need to be able to go back and figure out what exactly led to a specific outcome.
So let's talk about that, because that's interesting. Like in the days of cloud, people were like, okay, well, this is all great. Everything moves to the cloud. And then they got their first bill and it's like, wow, that's really expensive.
Yeah.
Now we're looking at the same thing with token usage, right? And LLMs and such. how is Coder kind of preventing some of that from happening?
Yeah, well, at a very basic level, we see a lot of our customers setting budgets for every developer in their organization. So when people are onboarding, they have a salary, and then they have like a token budget, and that token budget is how much that they can spend. So that gives organizations a level of kind of predictability on what at least the total LLM spend is going to be. So we've added that into our AI governance product, and now we're taking that even further into layers of cost optimization and predictability. But we're really seeing that the core problem we need to solve first is let's get Claude Code and these coding agents off of laptops.
Yeah.
Let's have a golden path for people, citizen developers, to use these agents, and then let's get into things like cost optimization beyond budgets.
I love it, love it. So Ben, top 3 takeaways. What do you want the audience to know?
Yeah, the first is that open source is doing fantastic. We've had more and more people come up than ever asking or saying, hey, I run Coder on my home lab, or it's awesome to see open source. Agents have definitely changed the way that people are contributing to open source. At the keynote, it was really cool to hear how a whole bunch of different projects, including the Linux kernel, is tackling kind of the challenge of AI-generated pull requests, and that's an issue that we have too.
Yep.
It's a great problem to have. It's awesome to have more people contributing, but it also there's a lot of kind of social issues that you have to manage through that. And the third is that agents are powerful, but a lot of organizations don't know how to roll it out at scale to citizen developers, and a lot of people are getting stuck running stuff like these agents on their laptops. So again, our main kind of goal is just to move these agents off of laptops into a more secure way.
Absolutely. Well, I don't know about the keynote. I don't know about if I'm ready for autonomous robots to take over the world yet, but I definitely think it's very exciting. Ben, pleasure to talk to you. Thanks for being on today.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
And thank you for watching. Paul Nashawaty coming to you live from the show floor at Open Source Summit 2026.